You know, let's be really honest for a second. That quote, it isn't some inspirational poster you hang on the wall. It's an accusation, and it's aimed squarely at any business, any leadership team that's just running on autopilot.
See, most companies aren't underperforming because they lack intelligence or talent. Nope. They're underperforming because, when you get right down to it, nothing has actually changed. The conversations happening in the boardroom today, they sound awfully familiar for a reason.
Think about it. A bank, we'll call them Red Oak Bank, says they want faster growth, they want better clients, but they're working with the exact same inputs as last year. It's the same people, having the same conversations, pushing the same strategy, which, of course, gets them the same results. That's not a strategy. That's inertia.
So what gives? You're working harder than ever, but the needle just isn't moving. Well, here's the tough truth. The problem probably isn't a failure of execution. It's a breakdown in the fundamental design of your business.
I want you to think about your company like it's a chemical reaction. In a stable, closed system, the same elements, when combined under the same conditions, are going to produce the exact same outcome. Every single time. No amount of wishing or working harder is going to change that basic fact.
And here's the kicker. Closed systems do not evolve. The market, just like chemistry, does not negotiate. You can't just will a different result into existence. If you want a different outcome, you have to fundamentally change the reaction itself.
So how do you actually do it? How do you break out of that closed system? Well, you have to start thinking like a chemist who wants to force a new reaction. And luckily, there are 4 key levers you can pull.
First, and this is a big one, you have to ask, what new elements could we add to this system? We're not just talking about hiring more people. We're talking about bringing in new capabilities, the right new talent, a game-changing partnership, or maybe a transformative piece of technology. What raw material are you missing? Second, where can you turn up the heat, increase the energy? See, in chemistry, you need what's called activation energy to kick off a reaction. In business, that energy is focus. It's concentrated capital. It's unwavering leadership attention. It means picking a few bold initiatives and going all in. Spreading your effort thin just won't cut it.
Third, how could you introduce a catalyst? Something that dramatically speeds up the reaction without getting used up in the process. This could be an external advisor who brings a new perspective, a structured process that forces new thinking, or a bold strategic move that lets you move faster than you ever thought possible.
And finally, maybe the most radical question. Can you change the environment itself? Sometimes, the reaction you want just can't happen in your current context. That might mean looking at entirely new markets, going after different customers, or maybe even exploring a whole new business model.
Let's be crystal clear about this. High performance doesn't just happen. It's not a stroke of luck. It is consciously, deliberately, and strategically engineered. So how do you start building?
You start with urgency. Look, the antidote to years of inertia isn't another 5-year plan that collects dust on a shelf. It's a 90-day sprint. It's a focused, high-energy process that is specifically designed to shift the chemistry of your business fast. 90 days. That's the window, because real change, genuine change, needs to feel urgent. This isn't about slow, comfortable, incremental improvements. This is about building real momentum, right now.
So what does a sprint like this actually feel like? Well, for one, it means ditching the suits, both literally and figuratively. It's about dropping the kind of formality that gets in the way of real talk.
It also means skipping all the corporate jargon, all the buzzwords that just cloud everyone's thinking. You focus on brutal honesty, solid analysis, and questioning the assumptions you've held for years.
And really, most importantly, it's designed to help you escape the sea of sameness. It's for leaders who are just plain tired of stale thinking and sluggish results, and who are ready to finally say goodbye to the insanity of doing the same old thing.
So let's have that real conversation, the one that probably needs to happen in your boardroom.
I'm going to ask you directly. Is your board, are your shareholders, asking for different results while you look around the room and realize that nothing and no one has actually changed? If the answer is yes, well, that's worth a conversation.
The team at Catalyst works with organizations that are ready to actually change the reaction, not just keep talking about it. If you're ready to engineer a new outcome for real, then it's time to start the conversation.